So this technique is breathing seated with an exhalation focus. So I'm going to show a little bit. It's not going to look like much because I'm just going to be breathing, but then I'm going to give a good explanation about what's happening here. And so if you're struggling with tightness, pain, discomfort, anywhere in the neck, shoulder, even down into the arm, definitely watch this all the way through to see what's happening. But the technique, I'm going to sit on the floor. I'm going to get my butt all the way back into the corner, and I'm going to try to sit with a nice upright posture. I'm trying to get as much of my spine against the wall as I can. Then I'm going to place my hands here. I'm going to inhale and try to feel no movement under my hands and expand my lower abdomen and ribs into both my thighs in the front and the wall in the back. So I want expansion in both directions, ideally in all directions, but below my hands. Then I'm going to exhale through pursed lips like I'm trying to whistle. That's going to create a little tension on the exhale. I'm going to exhale slow, and we're going to try to feel our abdominal muscles, especially our obliques, engage in a light way at the bottom of the exhale. And then I'm going to hold that for a second, and then inhale again, feeling some of that abdominal tension, feeling no activity up here. So that's the whole exercise. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to place hands here, sit nice and tall. Some people like to close their eyes, but I'm going to breathe in through my nose. Exhale. The bottom of the exhale, I feel some tension in my obliques, my side body. Then I'm going to inhale. As I inhale, I'm trying to feel pressure pushing against my thighs here as well as the wall behind me. And I'm not feeling really any movement underneath my hands here by the top of my sternum. And then exhale. Inhale again. Exhale, especially in the exhale, I want to feel my shoulders not crunching up, but relaxing through my shoulders. Inhale again. Exhale. One more I'll show. Trying to really expand down here. Exhale. Nothing's happening up here. So what I got going on here is I'm feeling with my hands. When I breathe in, I don't want movement up here. These muscles through the neck and top of the shoulders, the scalenes, the pec minor, the upper trap to some extent, those are called accessory breathing muscles. And so our accessory breathing muscles, you can also think of that as secondary breathing muscles, they're designed to kick in and help us breathe when we're at our max capacity, when we're breathing as hard as we can, and we need a little extra lung capacity to get us through the end of that workout, the end of that run, whatever it might be. But what I find in a lot of patients with neck pain, shoulder pain, and nerve pain going to the arms, or people who just feel like they're always tight up here, they're always trying to stretch their neck, they always have a knot in their top of their shoulder or just in the back of their shoulder here, they can never kind of get unwound up there, or people who feel like they hold tension or stress in their shoulders. What that often means is that you're driving too much of your breathing using these accessory muscles up here rather than your primary muscles of breathing, which is your diaphragm down in here. And so with this position, what we're going to do is when we're here, I'm trying to breathe in low down. So that's why I want you to feel your abdomen pushing into your thighs, but we also have expansion backwards or posteriorly. So I want to feel you pushing into the wall as well. So as we breathe in, I'm trying to feel all this expansion low, not up here by my neck and shoulders. For a lot of people, this is incredibly difficult, and as I'm working with them, I'll just kind of tap these guys and say, hey, relax these guys. And they realize they're starting to shrug up. So what that shrug up will do is it elevates these ribs and sternum. And so the ribs, the first rib is kind of right up top here, second rib's right below it, and the third rib as well. And so these accessory breathing muscles connect to those ribs and they elevate the ribs. So that gives us extra lung capacity when we need it. But if we breathe all the time like that, we breathe between 17,000 and 20,000 times a day. And so if we're always breathing with these accessory muscles, basically these muscles get crazy tight, but then these ribs get kind of stuck in an elevated position. When you're in this elevated position, that blocks good movement of the shoulder and the scapula, which can cause shoulder issues. It can block full movement of the neck, which can cause neck issues. It can just feel tight all the time because these muscles are working and the ribs are not quite in the right spot. And for some people, those ribs can even start to push on a nerve, which can cause numbness or tingling or pain running down all the way to the hand. So there's a lot of techniques that we're going to use to free up these ribs. But number one is we're going to address something that we do 20,000 times a day, which is breathing. So on the inhale, we want to try to feel nice and relaxed up in the shoulders. I'm feeling with my hands. If I start to feel that I'm tensing in the shoulders, I want to relax that. We need to practice breathing with the diaphragm and the lower rib cage rather than these accessory muscles. Okay? Then the exhale is equally important. So we're going to exhale with a pursed lip, or kind of like I'm trying to whistle or suck through a straw, like that. That's going to create a little resistance, which hopefully you're going to start to feel your abdominal muscles, especially the obliques. What those muscles do in this scenario is they help to depress or bring down the rib cage. I don't want you to think of depress here as a bad thing, because most people are elevated. And so we need on our exhale to bring it down. When people are stressed or they're using these elevated muscles, we tend to breathe high and shallow, and we don't get this full deep exhale. And so equally important in this drill is that we're going to take a breath in and get a full exhale, at least 5 seconds, ideally more. Feeling some tension in the abdominals at the bottom of the exhale, which is going to help to depress or bring down our rib cage out of that elevated position. I find when we're seated here, it's a nice way to do it because I don't have any other postural demands, and I can feel my ribs coming down, maybe my low back slightly pushing into the wall, and then I inhale from there. So this drill is as much about the inhale as it is about the exhale. So don't rush it. Get a full exhale and feel everything come down. And I want everything except your abdominal muscles to be as relaxed as possible at the bottom of the exhale, especially your neck and shoulders. Okay? As you get into this, you can move your hands into different positions, but to start, having at least one hand here to feel, am I inhaling or exhaling using these higher muscles? Okay? So a lot of people will say that when they're stressed, they feel tight here, and that's usually because breathing high here is a stress response. We evolved these muscles to get us extra lung capacity. During evolution, that was often when we were out of breath. Now, however, stress is going to kick that in, and we're going to get high and shallow in our breathing, which could cause all these sorts of problems. So definitely, if you're working through this with me, this will not feel like an immediate change because, again, we do it 20,000 times a day. But trust me, we need some dedicated practice, at least several minutes, usually on a daily, if not twice daily basis, to feel this different breathing pattern. And then as you get up and go about your day, try to incorporate that. We don't always have to sit like this to breathe like this, but it's helpful to have some focused practice. And then as you go and move around, try and feel that full inhale with the lower part of the rib cage expanding in 360 directions, like I'm expanding into my thighs and the wall. And then feel especially that full exhale where we're getting all of that air out of our lungs. That's going to help to reset the position of our rib cage, hopefully help you feel less tight and stiff, and hopefully help any pain that